Oh shit. We going. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Red Dog _ ENT. And we back with another reaction video. Today we got, is YouTube streaming a failure? I'm interested in looking at this because I do have a Twitch that I've been streaming on, and I have dabbled in YouTube streaming a little bit too. I don't know, and it doesn't seem like YouTube streaming is the way to go, but let's see what he says. Let's see what he's talking about. Let's get into it.
Streaming fail. I'm using past tense because did YouTube streaming fail? I'm using past tense because according to a lot of people, it's already buried 6 feet under.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of YouTube exclusive streamers over the last month or so that have announced that they're moving back to Twitch, or that they're going to be multi-streaming now that their YouTube contracts are up. So the perception is that every YouTube streamer is basically just in purgatory, scratching at their neck, waiting to get back to Twitch.
Yeah.
And it kind of has the same reputation Mixer did a long time ago, God rest its soul, where people that were previously on Twitch took a bag from YouTube, had a little paid vacation for a year or two, and then go back to Twitch eventually. Yep. And as a former full-time streamer on both platforms, I feel like I'm John Constantine, walking the line.
No, he's right, and that's exactly right. So that's not surprising to me at all because, like I said, I'm kind of a newer streamer, and I did definitely get a lot more success on Twitch. YouTube is people. I don't know. It just seems like people don't come to YouTube for live content. They're coming to YouTube for recordings, for shorts. That's it. They're not looking for live shows. If you want live streaming, Twitch is the place to go, or Kick.
In between worlds here, and I feel like I just have oodles of insight on this subject. Now, since I've entered my senile years, I have elected to go part-time, so you can hang that jersey in the rafters, or if you're a tier 3 sub on Twitch, you can go ahead and downgrade that puppy, or just stop it altogether, because at this point, it's kind of like the GameStop trade-in of value. You're not getting a whole lot of bang for your buck with how little I've been streaming recently. Yeah. I did stream all weekend for the Apex Major in Germany. We were watch partying our squad, absolutely fucking clapping cheeks out there. Just posted a video on that as well if you'd rather just watch like the condensed version. So it's a topic I really want to explore. And it turns out Ludwig already beat me to it, that rascal. So I kind of want to just go through his video and drop some more tiddlywinks of information about all of it.
Have you been noticing this trend where people who are signed to YouTube live streaming contracts, the day their contract ends, switch right back to Twitch or start multi-streaming?
Yeah, that's a phenomenon that's more common than the cold. You would be hard-pressed to find any Twitch streamers that switched to YouTube streaming and haven't already switched back over the last year or so to Twitch, or at the very least started multi-streaming on Twitch and YouTube. There are less of them than there is hair on my chest, and look at what we're working with here. Everyone seemingly that switched to YouTube streaming, either through YouTube contracts or through Twitch's fumbling over the last couple of years with like some policy changes as well as like some platform direction that people were upset with, have over the last year or so switched back because Twitch started to find their footing again with some of the changes and changing things around, like reverting a couple of things, as well as YouTube no longer doing streaming contracts. So it seems like everyone's flooding back to Twitch the second they can.
YouTube and YouTube Live not changing.
Yeah, I don't remember a time before I had NVIDIA, which is this AI video creator that
changing isn't because they move slow. It's because YouTube Live isn't a priority for you. But your friends that went to YouTube are all
What's up with bro face? Oh.
Yes.
Dan Clancy, cool as a cucumber here. I'm actually shocked he didn't have a cigar in his mouth delivering this little speech. Like, he's basically just dancing on the grave of YouTube's reputation in the public eye. There was a time when everyone, myself included, thought YouTube was going to be a real threat to Twitch's market share. Because Twitch has had the streaming ecosystem in a titty twister for years. They've had
for
the nipple
7 years
clamps on
now.
those honkers. And YouTube started to get a lot of momentum with streamers that were native to Twitch switching to YouTube
over,
even without a contract. But it seems most streamers grew tired of YouTube doing absolutely nothing besides letting the streaming element of their site wither.
Well, from what I've heard, because I know, I'm actually friends with a pretty big streamer. I'm not going to name them. But from what I've heard, and because, like I said, I've streamed on YouTube a couple times, didn't really get a whole lot of traction at all, honestly. But I'm smaller. I've got a ways to go before we get to that point. But the chat is awful, is what I've heard. They said YouTube's chat is horrendous compared to Twitch's. Twitch's is a lot easier to navigate, and YouTube's is really difficult to see and stuff like that. I guess when you're actually streaming and you're in the middle of a stream, the chat is hard to keep up with. It's harder to keep up with than Twitch's is. And I also heard that just in general, you don't get as many viewers because that's not really what people are going to YouTube for, is to look for live streams. So it just didn't work out for both sides, it seems like. So I mean, that's cool. Hey, some people had some contracts. They went up. YouTube is not, the mutual admiration is not there. So they're going right back to Twitch where they came from. And it seems like everybody's going to be happy. So it looks like it's working out for both sides. But at least YouTube tried. At least they gave it a good shot. Didn't work. They're going back to what, YouTube is a video platform. People want to come here to watch videos that have already been recorded and posted. They're not really looking for live streaming. There's so many other ways to get live streaming these days, and those places have a foothold on that.
And die. So pretty much all of them have switched back to Twitch at this point, except for the ones that are still under contract or banned from Twitch. But there was a moment where it really did seem like YouTube was encroaching on Twitch's stranglehold on the industry.
Yeah, and that was like the end of 2022, early 2023. That's when I feel like I see a lot of big Twitch streamers start to dabble in YouTube a lot, was around that time.
At the height of this, Dan Clancy was interviewed asking, are they panicking? Are they worried about Twitch users switching to rival platforms?
Nah.
Is Twitch going to do
Twitch,
anything to keep users and streamers on their site? Yeah. It was also public knowledge at this time that Twitch had completely stopped doing contracts for even their biggest streamers. They just put the kibosh on contracts entirely. Mm-hmm. And Dan Clancy just said, nope. In fact, he encouraged everyone to try alternatives. Like if they want to stream on YouTube and Kick, go for it. Go hog wild. He said that he believed that all of them would be back to Twitch because he believed in the platform being the best that streaming had to offer. And it seems like his bet has paid off so far. Like Luigi, he won without having to do anything. It seems most streamers that went to other platforms are all starting to flock back to Twitch.
When Myth ended his YouTube contract, I believe he took a break. He stopped streaming on YouTube. Lily, the moment her contract ended, switched back over to Twitch. Dr. Lupo, when his contract ended, started multi-streaming. Tim the Tatman today said he was going to start multi-streaming on Twitch and YouTube. And look, his viewership is better on Twitch after 3 years, I think, on YouTube than it is right now on YouTube.
And that's a pretty crazy thing.
That's the big thing. Like I said, the
perception and the fear for a lot of streamers was if they left Twitch, if they ever
that's just like I was saying. People don't go to YouTube looking for exclusive, live content. You don't pull out your phone and pull up that YouTube app and expect to see live streaming. That's not what you're looking for. You're looking to search for blah, say blah. I want to watch this, or I want to watch that, or I want to look at my subscriptions, see what they posted, see if they didn't post, move on. That's it. When you pull up that Twitch app on your phone, boom, you're expecting to see live content happening right now.
Their viewership wouldn't be what it once was, or their sub count would be significantly lower. But time and time again, it seems like that's just not the case. Not just Tim the Tatman, but there's been other streamers that have gone to other platforms that have come back to Twitch and have been in pretty much the exact same spot that they left off in, no matter how many years had passed. Everybody knows when you switch platforms, your audience doesn't necessarily follow you. You're definitely not getting the whole kit and caboodle to come over to the new platform that you've come to. You're lucky to get like even a fraction of it. Like, yeah, you'll hit like huge peaks for the first couple of streams with people like, trickling in just to check it out.
Just to check it out.
That audience you built up on the previous platform, they're most likely just going to go back to that because that's the platform they're most comfortable on.
Yeah, they're comfortable on it, and they'll probably just look for somebody new to start watching.
They'll probably just find another streamer, and maybe they'll occasionally tune into you on the other platform.
Yeah, occasionally, but it's not going to be the same.
They don't get converted to the new platform that you've switched to.
Agreed.
So with the example here, Tim the Tatman, he built up a YouTube streaming audience, and now that he went back to Twitch, that Twitch audience he used to have, seems like they're still using Twitch and look to be receptive to Tim the Tatman being back on their preferred platform. They came back. So his viewership has kind of stayed pretty much the same.
Okay. And nothing fucking changed. He's literally doing better on Twitch. And you might be wondering, okay, why are streamers switching back to Twitch? Well, one might be because they do better. They get more viewers. Two, it's because they also make more money.
I saw someone say sub count, by the way, earlier. I didn't answer it. I apologize. I'm not making up messages here. We are at 6.3.
Crowd, our game's over.
So you have an official number?
I'm joining up.
We're probably closer to 6.5, if I had to guess.
And Tim basically says he got 6,500 subs in one single stream on Twitch, and on YouTube he had 14,000 subs. So he basically got almost half the subscriber count in one day. So he's going to start making more money from Twitch subs than he ever did from YouTube members.
That is another huge thing. That one is a big old fucking set to one.
Yeah, that's the bag. That's your money, right? I mean, you get a little bit of money from ads, but the ads don't pay the bills, man. I'm just being honest. Ads don't pay the bills. It's the subs that pay the bills.
Explanation for why a lot of people will switch back to Twitch. The earning potential on YouTube streams is substantially lower than it is on Twitch. Twitch is a platform with culture. Chat experience on Twitch has always and will always be better than YouTube.
Yes.
Period.
Yes.
Hands down. There's nothing YouTube can
Isn't that what I said, guys?
do to really beat that, and it doesn't seem like YouTube's even trying. They're just waving the white flag on that.
Nah, they don't care.
They're just eating the huge fucking L.
It's not that they don't care. It's just that they realize what they are, and they're gonna stay in their place. That's basically it.
On just having a
and there's nothing wrong with that.
Twitch.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
Twitch just has a culture of subbing. Like Twitch has Prime subs, which is something you can do for free for your favorite streamer, where you sub to them with Twitch Prime and it's free for you and the streamer gets paid. Like, that is a deal YouTube just can't match. And it's extremely beneficial to the streamers on Twitch. So Tim the Tap Man can make in one day what it took 3 years for him to make on YouTube, at least when it comes to like membership numbers versus sub numbers.
Yeah.
So YouTube has a sub equivalent with members, but nobody fucking uses it. Most people don't even know it exists. Also, it's not even functional on mobile.
It's kind of hidden.
You have to go outside of the YouTube app, like on like a different browser on your phone, in order to even find the join button for.
And that's the problem right there. When you pull up that Twitch app, it's so easy. It's right there. Join. All that shit. On the YouTube app, he's right. You have to. It's like the members area is like buried in like it's buried in there. So it's very tough to.
It's not something that's integrated into YouTube streaming. So most streamers on YouTube will never come close.
And most people are using the apps on their phone.
A Twitch streamer will have
to watch this,
and they won't even come close to the amount of money a Twitch streamer earns if they are streaming on YouTube. So that's another really enticing reason why a lot of people that were streaming on YouTube are going back to Twitch. Also, another obvious one is discoverability. The main critique of YouTube streaming since its inception has been how hard it is to navigate and how difficult it is to even find streams in the fucking first place. And they have done little to improve that. Any channels that have found success streaming on YouTube are channels that already had an audience before they started streaming, or had an audience from elsewhere that came in for those YouTube streams. Anyone that's just starting with streaming on YouTube, it's not going to bring in any viewers.
It's nothing. To be honest, the most I've ever had on a stream on YouTube was 3 people at one time. I had 3 people. I have 2,400 followers on Twitch. I usually average about anywhere from 20 to 50. Sometimes it could peak at, like when Wukong came out, I had about 100 people on the stream. So yeah, it's just 3 people, and I announced it, and they can't find it. It's hard to find. It's like buried. And it's just YouTube it's just not the place for that. It's just not,
because discoverability is non-existent. YouTube is actually really good when it comes to like event streams, though. So this is something Ludwig also talks about. If a big moment happens in an event, like grand finals is going on in some kind of big tournament, and a lot of people start flooding in, well, YouTube recognizes that and then actually starts recommending that stream outside of the normal little bubble, like the quarantine unit that it keeps streams in. So then you actually will get some eyes on it. But if you're like just daily streaming normal shit, or just starting out streaming, you're not going to have that stream go to anyone outside of whatever audience you've already built up going into it. You have better odds of writing your YouTube handle on a paper airplane and throwing it out of your window and hoping a neighbor sees it and checks it out.
He's right.
Than you do just streaming on YouTube and relying on them to push it.
It never push it. It doesn't push it,
Whereas on Twitch, even though there are so many streamers to compete with in every category, your odds of being seen are higher.
They're much higher.
Your potential to have some viewers trickle in is just higher on Twitch.
Yes.
If you look at the most watched major streaming platforms by hours watched of live broadcasts, Q2 of this year, YouTube gaps Twitch. It's not close. 3 times bigger, 15 a billion. However, that doesn't exactly tell the full story.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. What is that lying about?
You also have to include, some people
gaming.
like YouTube's biggest live streamer by hours watched, which is not iShowSpeed. It is Lo-Fi Girl.
Yeah, so just looking at the cold, hard Carfax here, looking at these numbers, taking a peek under the hood, it looks like on the surface YouTube is slapping Twitch around when it comes to these
We're talking about gaming.
But it's really not. Because these numbers are bloated just by the sheer volume of streams that are going on that are...
Yes, that are other things.
Literally always on. So like Lo-Fi Girl. Probably the biggest stream in the world when it comes to watch hours. Like the watch time on that is absurd because it's 24/7 nonstop with tens of thousands of viewers that are idly just listening to it in the background.
Yeah, they just have it on at work. Yeah,
so it's not like the healthiest number that they have here. It's just the biggest one.
Yes.
So it doesn't really tell the full story. And Lud also mentioned some other very, very popular streams on YouTube that really inflate the fuck out of those numbers.
Things like Lo-Fi Girl or videos playing on loop or what there's a bunch of on YouTube Live, which is scams. In fact, one of the biggest live streams right now on YouTube is Tesla, except it's not Tesla. It is a scam account with 20,000 subscribers with 86,000 bots watching to give it some credibility. So people click on it who aren't part of the bot number, and then they scan this code, and then they lose all of their crypto. Do not scan this code. I'm showing this as an example of YouTube's corrupt botting.
That's crazy.
Problem.
If anybody actually scanned that QR code from Ludwig's video,
that's crazy.
I believe that it is now Ludwig's responsibility to pay you back for all of your lost crypto. He is liable now because Ludwig scammed you. I had the decency to censor the scam QR code. I'm just being a little goofster. If anyone actually scans that QR code and loses all their crypto, they 100% deserve it for being an unfathomably stupid buffoon.
Yeah.
I will never be able to wrap my head around who actually falls for those.
Yeah.
I truly don't understand it. Like, I know the default answer is like old people. I don't believe that because they probably don't have crypto in the first place.
Yeah. I mean, come on. It's a Tesla channel with 19.5 K subscribers. Does that even sound right? Tesla's one of the biggest auto manufacturers in the world, and 19.5K on YouTube.
What Ludwig is highlighting here is that these scams have tons and tons of viewership, last for quite a long time, thus bump those numbers up on the YouTube.
All right, we'll go ahead and cut it there. You know, he's kind of just getting into some rambling a little bit, so we kind of covered the biggest parts. But yeah, like I said, as a newer, Twitch streamer myself, who's only been streaming for about a month and a half now, the YouTube is just not it. It's just not it. Not for streaming. It's great for everything else, and I do very, very well with the actual videos that I post. But for streaming, we're gonna stick to Twitch, and even Kick. Kick is actually not that bad either. But yeah, that's all I got for y'all, man. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, and get them notifications every time I post a lit reaction video. That's all I got for y'all. Y'all have a good one. Peace.